Alright, so the episode that everyone is talking about. Now, I am very happy with 116, but it's not what you think. A lot of people are happy, obviously, because, we have Kefla being eliminated, but that's besides the point. I have a theory as to why Kefla was even brought in this manner. And in this manner, I'm suggesting that she was only there to force Goku to bring out Ultra Instinct. Because despite, yeah, Kefla being eliminated and, such and such, this episode was more like, it's a Goku episode to say the least. And I'm happy with that. To me, this is how Goku should fight, where, he just does what he wants to do. He acts on instinct. As opposed to Vegeta, where I feel as Vegeta, he deserves a great fight that's nothing but brutal tenacity and ferocity. I just think that that would suit Vegeta more. This kind of fight suits Goku, where he just kind of wings it at times and he doesn't really think about it, which is why I think Ultra Instinct suits him best. So, back to the topic of Kefla. You know, it was a character that was immediately hyped up and quickly eliminated, which is why I think my theory might fit, this particular outcome. Because if they really wanted to milk this character, I mean, yeah, they could have done more. I mean, they've already done enough as it is, but maybe they were getting the message that people weren't exactly quite fond of this character as much as they probably would have liked us to be, but that's my take on it. At least that's what I got from this episode. Kefla keeping up with Goku to a certain extent was obviously not to my liking, but I really like the fact that he was actually the star of this particular episode. So I mean, he's always been the star, but the point is, with the recent weeks we've had, Kefla being this main focus on everybody's mind, and this has been the topic of discussion for this past month, which is why I think, Goku being the star for this episode, it just kind of curtails all this negativity toward Kefla, because she's essentially gone now. So whether you liked her or hated her, it's over. So uh, one thing I did notice though, and this is just another one of my theories, because as you can tell, I prefer Kale, and it seemed like when they split apart, perhaps because Kefla's personality is dominant with Caulifla, it seems like Caulifla took most of the damage. Because if you look back at the scene right here, she seems to look like she's exhausted, she's dirty, and Kale just seems to be perfectly fine. So I wonder if that's also part of the fusion, where one person would get affected more as opposed to the other, depending who's more dominant. And on a side note, let's see. Oh yes, that's right. I wanted to talk about Jiden. Um, One of my subscribers had asked me if I had read Dragon Ball Super manga for chapter 30, and I just recently did. And just so I won't have to make two videos on this, I'll just plug this in here. My theory on Jiden is that Jiden was probably going to use the Super Dragon Balls to revive everybody if he indeed wins, because judging from the recent manga that I read, it seems like, due to the fact that, he wouldn't even participate because he wouldn't even want to be the he wouldn't even want to be the person or take the responsibility of, wiping out all the universes just for his own, because that's not who he is. So someone like that believes in true justice, I feel like maybe that's why he's so calm and content. Because the truth is, I feel like he could just knock off, almost everybody out of the tournament arena. And I say to myself, why hasn't he done that? wouldn't it just be easier just to finish this once and for all? Unless, one, he really wants to see how far Goku can go, or two, maybe he just doesn't care, or three, is the theory that I'm presenting that perhaps, regardless, he's not worried is because he trusts in himself to make the right decision. So I think a lot of people were right when they were insinuating that the Super Dragon Balls will probably be used to revive everybody back. But it doesn't have to necessarily be Goku. Maybe, you know, it could be Jiren if he wins. So that's my take on that. I guess we'll see what happens. And as always, thanks for listening.